WrestleMania weekend is here. It's here and it's live in full effect. Yo, so I just got finished. Well, I didn't just get finished. I got to do my NXT Stand Deliver review. I got to do my NXT Stand Deliver review. I have to say, NXT finds a way. They find a way to have excellent shows. Excellent shows. I enjoyed every single match on here. Yes, there were matches that you probably could have been a little bit weaker than others, but I'm just saying, overall, I enjoyed the whole vibe of everything. It just worked. And dumb brothers at the end in that triple threat match stood on business. I'm sorry, hitting this microphone. Got excited. Stood on business and went out there and did what they were supposed to do to represent. I love that triple threat match. Now, I did see Stand and Deliver before, when it came on live. I seen Stand and Deliver, then I went right to WrestleMania night one. And so I did a live stream about that, but I'm like, now I'm getting a chance to talk to you guys. I'm not doing a live stream, just recording this to talk about Stand and Deliver. And now, granted, I thought Stand and Deliver was a better show than WrestleMania night one. Minus that triple threat, because that triple threat between Roman, CM Punk, and Seth was amazing, okay? That's the only thing that edged out anything on Stand and Deliver. But Stand and Deliver crushed everything else, in my personal opinion, right? So we about to get to it, yo. We about to talk about Stand and Deliver 2025. I thought it was AK like the WrestleMania 2000. Only one singles match on this whole thing, but everybody got a chance to shine here. They even had a 4-way tag team number one contenders match that Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan won, and they get a chance at the women's tag team champions, I believe it is. So we're going to find out who that's going to be after WrestleMania. I still think it's going to be Liv and Raquel, but after things that have happened, after I found out on the pre-show, it's a possibility that's going to change. It's a possibility, so we don't necessarily know. So, but we're here to talk about Stand and Deliver and talk about that. So before all that, y'all, make sure you hit the subscribe button outside there, because this is going to be on the podcast as well. And if you guys watching the video version, you know what I'm saying, make sure you guys subscribe on the YouTube channel as well. You can post any comments down below. But this is going to be on part of the post-WrestleMania show. All the stuff for WrestleMania weekend, I'm going to talk about on the podcast. Okay, so if you want to know about the Hall of Fame, I'm going to talk about it. We're talking about Stand and Deliver, talk about it. We talk about that WrestleMania 9 documentary, going to talk about it. So we're going to, it's going to be a loaded thing. So trust me, I'm already wearing myself thin, but it's going to be a loaded thing. So make sure you stay tuned for all that. So, Stand and Deliver kicks off with the North American Championship, North American Championship match. Ethan Page taking on Ricky Saints. So, I'm glad. At first, I had a fear that they was going to turn this into a fatal five-way. I really thought it was going to be like, hey, everybody works hard. We were going to throw Eddie Thorpe in here and Lexus King and was it Wesley? And they're just going to throw them all in there like, hey, everybody deserves to be on the show for WrestleMania weekend, and we're going to do that. I'm glad that they kept this to a one-on-one. It was Ethan Page, formerly from AEW, Ricky Saints, formerly Ricky Starks from AEW, in a championship match on WrestleMania weekend. You trust me, I'm gonna get to when they start chanting and stuff like that. So that I was like, they're gonna be paid AEW, please do. And of course, they had a great opener. So I got to make sure to get to my notes here. So they were filling each other out in the beginning, okay, and then they actually spills like to the apron, and Ethan Page hits a power slam, like one of the Oklahoma British Bulldog types power slams to Ricky Starks on the apron. That like it sucked. It did. So then that plays a part in the match for Ricky Saints, in his back, right? So Ricky goes for a springboard splash to the outside, kind of like Ethan Page on the floor. He springboards and tosses out. Page sidesteps him and kind of like throws him and throws Ricky Starks right over the announce table. I was like, goodness, that was insane. So now they go back in there now. Ricky Starks, I keep saying Starks, Saints is favoring his knee. Ethan Page goes back into the ring and he is putting him in the Boston Crab. So now he's working on the knee as well. So Ricky breaks the hold. Later on in the match, Ethan Page gives Ricky a backdrop on the ropes, like a backdrop on the ropes. Like they were doing all these kinds of spots that was crazy. And he falls to the outside. Then back in the ring, Ricky starts his tornado DDT for a 2 count. Then he goes for the spine buster and a Michinoku drive for another 2 count. At this point in the match, I even have it here in my notes. At this point in the match, the fans are chanting, Tony Fumble. Tony Fumble. It made me laugh. It made me laugh because I was like, yo, because these rising stars, you had them on your roster. You've had Ethan Page, you had Ricky Saints on your roster. And Ricky Saints was injured for a minute, but he didn't use them. He didn't use them that much. Now, like, y'all had them on so, and now look at them on this stage. I felt this. I was like, I just laughed at it. I really laughed at it. Ricky hits a powerbomb to Ethan Page out the corner for a 2 count, and then he's about to go in for his spear, but Page kicks him, and then he hits hits him with a facebuster, and hits him with an Eagle's Edge, only for a 2 count. Ricky kicks out, and then Ricky hits him with a spear, then a Rochambeau, and wins the matchup. Nice opener for Stand and Deliver. Ricky Saints retains North American Championship. I didn't even think he was going to lose the North American Championship, to be honest with you. I was like, no, he ain't going to lose that just yet. But he'll keep it for a minute. But Ethan Page gave him a good match, and I'm glad it was a one-on-one thing. Next up, we had the NXT Tag Team Champions, Hank and Tank, taking on Faxium. So I said in my predictions, I was like, I didn't know which way this was going to go with tag because I wasn't too familiar right now with the NXT Tag Team division, right? Other than the No Quarter Catch crew, right? So when they did Hank and Tank, I was like, you know, Hank and Tank remind me, like, they're good, but they got like a little Public Enemy vibe to them. Like, if y'all remember back in the day, Public Enemy, okay, that's what it reminded me of, especially when it comes to their tires a little bit like that. And a little bit of Heavy Machinery in there as well. That's what this team was vibing. So, you know, I can see how they're getting over with the fans. And boy, did they make a statement in this matchup here. So, at first, you know, as Axe was trying to fill him out, you know, I think it was Hank that was in there. That was just, you know, knocking him off and showing the strength and things like that. And then but then after they call him, then Nathan Frazier comes in. Then they start doing faction type stuff, you know, with the double team moves. It's like they move like the Motor City Machine Guns. Bull, what I love to see Faxium today taking on Motor City Machine Guns at least 15 years ago. I mean, they can still do their thing. Don't get me wrong, but they're in their 40s. But now I'm talking about when they was in their 20s, bruh, that match would not fast paced for 30 minutes. Fast paced, they about to be gassed by the end of that thing. So midway through the match, Hank is on the apron. And then Nathan Frazier in the ring. He takes Axe and picks him up like a backdrop, throws him to Hank, and he does a his scissors. And then he takes Hank off the apron, which falls onto Tank. So now they get taken out. Then they toss Hank back in there, give him a frog splash, and then a 450, but then for 2. Okay, so then the crowd's really starting to get behind him now. Hank and Tank get back into control, and they hit a falling flapjack for 2. Axiom is tossed to the outside. Now Hank is like, Tank is holding up the ropes like, hey, yo, come on. We got to go for a dive. I was like, I'm not used to these brothers diving. So Hank takes off and he dives through the ropes so hard and so far. He misses Axiom as Axiom gets out the way and he falls, flakes playing around the announce table. He's out. I was like, that table got to be close to the ring. Or these guys got some distance. All right. But I was like, he ran full speed to get to it. Was perfect. He just missed and landed, crashed and burned right on that announce table. And I thought that was a great spot. Then there's a missile drop kick, sweet combination to Tank. For only a 2 count, Tank kicks out. And then the crowd is hyping him. And then Axiom goes for a Spanish fly to Tank. Beautiful Spanish fly. And it's like, so they're going for the cover. Now, I saw it come because of the way the camera was positioned, but I would have liked if the camera wasn't on him. And Hank comes back in and then makes the save for Tank. And everybody was like, oh man, I thought they made crash to burn and it was done. That now, I'm telling you right now, they are crazy for Hank and Tank right now. I was like, okay, there's no way you make a save like that after a crash and burn like that and lose this match. There's just no way you do that, right? And then so Frazier goes for another Phoenix Splash, but then they move and Hank gives him the boss man slam. Tank dives to the outside and takes out Axiom. So then they hit their finishing move. They roll each other's stomachs in the middle, and then they hit their little power slam finish. And 1, 2, 3, Hank and Tank are your new NXT Tag Team Champions. Obviously, I think Faxion maybe getting called to the main roster now, because they've been down there for a while. I mean, A-Kid been out there for a minute, you know what I'm saying? Nathan Frazier been out there for a minute. So I think it's probably a good time for them to come up there, because I love Faxion. They was almost like low-key the tag team of the year last year, but Hank and Tank, they got over crazy in that match. It's almost like back, you know, when it was doing good, when AEW had the Acclaim taking on Swerve and Our Glory, and it was like, the crowd is into this. You just got to put the belts on the Acclaim right now. But they didn't. Hank and Tank did that. That's the kind of reaction that it was getting behind, because the crowd was really into this. Next up, we had the Women's North American Championship ladder match. I don't know why I was buffing when I was saying that. But so we have here Thea Hale, Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice, Izzy Dame. Izzy Dame came out to like no reaction, okay, at all. Because at first I was like, where is Izzy Dame from? Oh, she part of that Sean Spears stable. I was like, figures, tracks, right? And Sol Roca and Zarya. First of all, Sol Roca and Zarya came out because they're the friends. They've been doing all TikTok stuff now, and they've been doing the videos, and they're besties now. I'm just like, man, Zarya, if you don't come out there and just destroy all, because that's why I really wanted to win this one, right? I think Zarya be just getting overlooked. Like Zarya is a player in here, right? So, and of course, Q-Flow when it's so Roca to do this, but no, it is. I was pulling for Zarya, right? On the outside, Izzy Dane pushes Zarya into the steel, so they fight over the ladder, and she kind of rams her into the steel steps, right? Later on in the match, Zarya comes in the match. She has the ladder. She does the Bubba Ray Dudley or the Three Stooges when they put the ladder over the head. He starts spinning around and like that, and she starts taking out all the women. Kalani Jordan comes in. She take that. Lola Vice comes in, and when Zarya spins that ladder, she take a shot to the face. I was like, I got scared. The first thing I thought of when she took that shot, because it got her kind of stiff, right? The first thing I thought of was Joey Mercury. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. But all I'm going to say is Armageddon 2006 is on the internet. Y'all can find out what happened to Joey Mercury in a ladder. Okay, so I'm just saying, if you know, you know. But so she takes everybody out like with the three shooter stuff like that, right? Kalani joins back in, and Zarya gets a shoulder back toss onto the ladder. They're like, it's soft. And then Jordan starts hitting some springboard moonsaults. And she did a springboard moonsault to the outside, taking, I forgot who it was. And Izzy Dame's in the ring. She gives her like one of the little split-legged, like she holding her, and then she does a little split like Melina used to do onto the ladder on the Izzy Dame. Then they set up the ladder. Lola tries to climb the ladder. And then she tries to climb the ladder. Lola takes her down and starts giving her the spinning, giving everybody these kicks and everything like that. She's getting in MMA mode, and she's trying to go for a spinning back fist, but she hits her hand on the ladder, right? And then out of nowhere, Izzy Day comes out of nowhere with like a falling cold breaker. She comes to tie rope, she gets a cold breaker on Lola Vice, and she's just like, get out here, puta. I don't know, she said something like that, and the fans like, ooh. So then she hits a choke slam on Kalani Jordan, and then Sol Roca, because she had springboard onto the ladder, right? And now Izzy Dame climbs up on there. Now Sol Roca is on the ladder, and Izzy Dame is up there in front of her on the same side of the ladder. Because even was it Corey Graves and Booker T and Vic Jones Davis was like, excuse me, what are you doing? Like that's what they said. He was like, excuse me, what are you doing? Get kind of hot in here, right? So, but she takes her and hits her with a sky high off the ladder. So I thought that was pretty cool. Thea Hale comes in there. Time for Thea Hale to get some action. And you know what I'm saying? I like Thea Hale. I love Thea Hale, especially when she was at Chase University. But there's no more Chase U no more. So Thea's in the ring. She slams Little Vice on the ladder. Then she gives her like a senton, and she gives her like another springboard type senton off the bottom rope. That that kind of senton you try to do on 2K, which is like off the bottom rope type thing. Thea Hale gave her that while she was on the ladder anyway. Kalani comes in there. There's a ladder set up in the corner. She gives her an exploder onto the ladder. And then she caught the edge of this too. I was like, oh, don't hurt Kalani, right? You know. So then Thea Hale starts crying for the ladder. Then Izzy Day comes in there. She's like pulling the ladder away. Like she's on, Thea Hale's on top trying to grab the belt. And she's pulling the ladder away. I was just like, that's actually, believe it or not, it looks simple, but that's quite impressive. That's quite impressive. Like, Izzy Dane was winning me over as the match was going on, right? As she comes to the ladder, Thea Hale puts like, the little arm lock on the Izzy Dane, and then she kind of like snaps the arm. Izzy Dane falls down. Now, while she falls to the outside, Sean Spears and his crew come out to go check on her. And Thea Hale's still on top, so she tries to reach over like, oh, I'm too far because she pulled me over. But then Zarya gets back in there. Zarya gets the ladder, and then she picks up the ladder, like from the other side, and Thea Hale is right there. So she just jumps in, splashes all of Shawn Spears and Izzy Dame all on the outside. As Klein Joy comes back in there, she's about to knock Zarya down. She's about to hit her with a ladder, but then Sol Roka slides in and saves Zarya. I was like, oh, we doing this now. So they take out Jordan. Zarya, then as they're fighting, they set up a ladder bridge from the ladder in the ring to the ring ropes. Zarya climbs it, then Lola Vice comes in there and gives a sleeper hold. I think the plan spot was for her just to fall back and to crush Lola Vice on the ladder, and they have a big spot like that. But I don't know if Zarya did not know how high she was, and was just like, no, fuck that. She kind of climbed back down the ladder and then kind of fell, so it was a lot less impactful. And I was just like, okay. But then Lola Vice, and once again, if you were doing it high up, there was no guarantee that Lola would stay on the ladder because it would have ricocheted. Like, I remember when Finn Balor got powerbombed by Andrade and he like ricocheted off that ladder. Like, that is the kind of shit that could have happened. But Lola's still laying across the ladder bridge. As Lola's laying across, Kalandra hits a splash to her across the ladder bridge in the ring. Zarya military presses Klein Jordan to the outside onto everybody. It like she didn't get far enough, but she crashed on everybody. And then so now both Zarya and Sol Roka is on top of the ladder. They're looking like it got to be this way. And I think I literally turned away for a minute and turned back. I don't know if Sol Roka was about to go punch her or Zarya about to punch her. They stopped each other. They like staring into each other's eyes, right? Then they start fighting, right? And then Sol Roka gets knocked off the ladder, but she's kind of like hanging on like this way underhandedly, and she kind of flips back up and kicks Zarya in the chest. Zarya flat back falls down to the mat. Insane. First of all, as knowing that ring is hard as hell, okay, having a flat back bump from top of the ladder, that would take me out for a day. I'm done after that, right? But she takes the flat back bump, and then Izzy Dane comes into the ring, and then Sol Roka gives her a soul snatcher from the top of the ladder. She does the motion and takes out Izzy Dane, and then she jumps on the other corner and takes out Lola Vice and Thea Hale, and then she climbs up, and Sol Roka is now your new Women's North American Champion, which also makes her a double champion because she is the Speed Champion right now as well. That's why I was like, if they're going to have Sol Roka have the Speed Championship, I thought they was going to probably at least give it to Zarya, and then you can have the best. They're going to be a best friends. We both got a championship type shit, right? But no, that didn't happen. So they got to give it to Sol Roka. So I don't know if this is going to play out in the part when it comes to her and Zarya's friendship. Whatever case is going to go from there. I hope they got something planned for it. I don't necessarily know, but it was a solid ladder match. It was a solid ladder match. I enjoyed it. Next up, we get the 6-man tag match that was just added on Tuesday. Dark State take on the D'Angelo family. And you know what? At first, I was like, well, they just be good with the NXT Parking Lot Brawl. But I'm liking the story that was going in there. And I was like, they probably want to have Dark State in here as well. So, I did not know the names at first. I even put them in my notes as homie with Locks, Drake, White One, Dark Skin One. Like, that's how it was in my notes. But, however, their names are Deion Lennox, he's like the hothead. Then we have Colton James, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry, y'all. That's the white one. Then we have Saquon Sugars. That's a name. Saquon Sugars. And then we have Mr. Griffin. His name's not Mr. Griffin, but his name was it Orias Griffin. That's the name of Dark State here. So we had Deion Lennox, Orias Griffin, and Saquon Sugars, the ones that's in the match. Colton James is on the outside, right? Orias knocks down. Now I think because it was Stacks, Tony Angelo. I think the other one's named Luther because I see him on Evolve also. He tried to springboard in, and Orias takes him out. So he's on the outside, and then they tag in Deion Lennox. He is beaten down. I'm gonna call it the guy Luther. I know that's probably not his name. I apologize, but he was beating him down, and as they were like, he was snapping on him, and then he even picked up the ring skirt and that little metal bar that's right there that's holding up the ring. He threw him into that, like he was crashing out, And Saquon Sugar is like, hey, yo, man, calm down. But he pushes Saquon. I was like, I know y'all not about to do, Darks ain't even really get over yet. So y'all know y'all ain't trying to do no, in-house thing was about to blow up, right? No, but they didn't do that. It was just showing that he's losing his temper. And Saquon Sugars, even when he's not tagged in, has to calm him down because he is the loose cannon of all that, right? Stacks gets tagged in. Tony was going for a tag. And Tony is not happy about this. He just looks pissed off. And Stacks is in there, and then he's in there with Sugars. And they're sitting there fighting. And the whole time, Stacks is taking the heat most of the time. And Tony D'Angelo's just looking at him, and he's not even going for it. He's not even extending his hand out. Like, he wants to go in there and get punished because this is your punishment for doing this. Like, you're making calls. The Don is here. You're making calls that I haven't scheduled you for. So, I get all that, right? So, on the floor, Orias, he just takes Stacks and literally, where they used to do the spear spot at the barricade, launches him over the barricade onto the floor. I was like, my God, y'all gotta have a mat back there from the Lando, right? Because it's kind of like, it gave me, remember during the Hall of Fame, Mark Henry, and he just grabbed the producer dude or the referee, and he just launched him to the abyss, and we never saw him again. Like, that's how it looked like. So he just launched him over the barricade. Now Stacks is trying to tag Tony, but Tony still would not put his hand out. You're getting punished for this. But later on, Tony D'Angelo tags in. He starts going crazy on everybody, giving belly suplexes, and then he gives Saquon Sugars a belly to belly off the top rope, and then when Deion Lennox, that's his name, right? Yeah, he gets in there. He goes and gives Tony D'Angelo a jackhammer for 2. Then they have a team face off, and then they all go in at it in the ring. And then Colter James comes out and gives the long hair, the one I used to call Luther in the D'Angelo family. He gives him, he has him on show the outside fireman's carry and runs him to the ring post. Like, remember how Bobby Lashley used to do it? And run to the ring post, you just spin off his back. That's what he did there. But the girl, the woman that's in the D'Angelo family, I don't know her name offhand. She runs and gives him a diving crossbody from the top rope. So that takes care of Coulter for a minute because it's it was 4 against 3. So that takes care of him for a minute. So then Stacks tells Tony he has an idea. Even though Tony was like, I didn't make the call, he has this idea. Saquon Sugars hits Stacks in the back. He falls into Tony D'Angelo, and they set up Stacks for their launching triple powerbomb move. But then Tony spears Sugars. He spears him hard. And then on the outside, Colter James has a crowbar. Tony D'Angelo's crowbar. And then Stacks takes it, and he's about to, he hits Saquon Sugars with it. And then he looked like he's about to hit Tony D'Angelo with it, but he gives it to the record. Everybody was like, because Tony was looking behind him like, yo, you gonna do me like this or no? And he gives the referee, but he low blows him. He low blows Tony D'Angelo. Then Tony D'Angelo gets the launch triple power bomb by Dark State. Dark State win the matchup, and Stacks turns on the D'Angelo family. So I haven't really been following the storyline with the D'Angelo family like that, but they have Stacks with the big turn, and the crowd was eating all up into this, right? So I was like, man, I didn't see. I mean, it's like, do storyline they was teasing it, and I knew Dark State had to come up with a win somehow. But I was like, but now I guess we the next show we're doing Stacks and Tony D'Angelo. And once again, I don't know if it's like a call-up is imminent. I feel as though that Tony D'Angelo will win the NXT championship before he gets called up, because this gimmick works well on NXT. I don't know how it's going to translate to the main roster, to be completely honest with you. Next up, we have the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Women's Championship. Jordan Grace taking on Jada Parker. Ms. Parker taking on Julia, taking on Stephanie Vaquer. The build-up for this match has been great. I enjoyed the different promos and the different learning about the personal struggles that each woman has in this matchup. They made this into a really big deal, and I appreciate that they did that. All women start attacking each other, and then Jada Parker tries to give a double reverse suplex to Stephanie and to Julia, but Julia gets out of it, and she reverses it, and they take out Jada Parker. Jordan Grace is in the ring, and Steph goes for a clothesline, but Grace doesn't move. She's like, nah, this is the juggernaut right here. We ain't doing that. So then all of a sudden, Peacock just starts acting up on me. I don't know if y'all had this problem or not, or was it just my TV at work that I was at, but it stopped, it shut down, it reset the whole TV and everything, so I missed a good part of this match. And I'm upset that I missed about a good part of this match. When I got the TV up and running, everything got reset and everything like that, I had to go back through Peacock. I was at the Tower of Doom spot, right? I was at the part where Jordynne Grace had Stephanie and Julia on her shoulders. Like, one was sitting right here, one was sitting right there, and Jada Parker from the top does a jumping blockbuster Tower of Doom spot onto all the women. That was dope. I enjoyed. I was like, whoa, I was like, go ahead, you show out, Miss Parker. You out there doing a dance with you out there. You show out, Miss Parker. So Stephanie tries to go for, I don't know what the exact move is, but you know the aspect. She put the head through the leg, start smashing up and down like that. The one that Shaw don't need to be doing. Right. She tries to do that, but Grace picks her up and hits her with like the rolling Death Valley driver. Then Jordynne Grace gives a German suplex to Jada Parker, who has she kind of has Julia, gives her like a Northern Light suplex at the same time. These women were pulling it all out on the line. Julia wipes out Grace with a missile dropkick, and now we have a standout between Julia and Stephanie. And then we get the Yebu hits, and then Julia hits a headbutt. She like headbutting Stephanie down to the ground. And then so Stephanie tries to go for the ass smash again, and then Julia gets out of it. So everybody knows that we're building up to this move. So when she finally hits it, we're about to lose their mind. And you know who's going to be on the commentary table salivating when this move about to come up, right? Julia gives, holds Stephanie's things back, gives like that little curse that Candice LeRae used to do. And then Jada Parker's back in the ring, and she stacks all three women up in the corner. She has them up in the corner, and another one comes and she stacks up in the corner, and she gets another one, stacks them up in the corner. Then she goes around and does the teardrop, with the ass cheeks, and high steps it. So I just love it when she be high stepping it, man. So she high steps it. Then she's a Falcon's arrow to Stephanie for 2. The Jada Parker and Grace have a leg lock on. But then Julie comes up with like a tarantula stretch. She has Jada Parker stretched out. And in that same time, then Stephanie puts, I want to say it was a rear naked choke or a crossface on the Jordynne Grace. So it was like a 4-person, everybody was on a submission type thing. So I thought that was unique. I thought that was a unique spot. As this happens, Stephanie grabs, I think the first one she grabbed was Julia. Or Jada Parker, I'm not sure. And then she gives her, her move. She put there and she just does a little ass smash, stuff like that. And the fans are cheering. Booker T's losing his mind. He's like, no, Jordynne Grace, you about to get this thing too. And she gives one to Jordynne Grace. Then Jordynne Grace son. Then she gives one to Julia. Booker T is over there fuming. He had me in tears, right? He's just all, yes, give it to me one more time. Like that shit's hurting my voice. My throat just trying to do it right now. He is losing his shit. So after that, Grace hits her finish, the little package driver that she does. She hits it on Julia, but then Parker hits her with the hypnotic. And then she hits another hypnotic on Julia, and Parker pins, she pins her, but then Stephanie come out of nowhere with the spinal tap. And she hits it on Parker, and then she pins Jada Parker, 1, 2, 3, 7 for cure. Retains her women's championship in an awesome fatal 4-way matchup. I did miss part of it because my TV reset it, but I was like, that was a good fatal 4-way matchup. Then the main event time, NXT championship match. The brothers out here. As somebody said, I was talking to Quattro, he seen online. He's like, these 3 guys look like a Pokemon evolution, like Machamp, not Machamp, Machoke, no. Machop to Machoke to Machamp type thing. Javon Evans taking on Crash Out Trick Williams, and Oba Femi. I was like, y'all need to bring it. This is the first time that we had, all black guys in a main event in a primary weekend like this. Hell, even the referee was black. And for all of them out there online and all in social media world talk, so why does it always have to be about the black guys, or why does it always have to be the first time this or first time that? People, you're in your feelings. It's when people say shit like that, their comfort zone is being disrupted. And people, human beings, don't matter who you are, don't like your comfort zone being disrupted. That's what it is. But it's okay. It's okay for the representation to happen because when you're so used to a representation of one thing, and when somebody else brings up to attention, like I don't know why that bothers you. That somebody says that like, well, you know, when you identify race, it makes you racist. No, it does not. Identifying it, that's what it is called. When you try to not identify it, that is more underground racist than you think it is. So having all of them in the main event at WrestleMania weekend at Stand and Deliver, and not only are it's just because they're what I liked about it was that it wasn't just because they were black guys. They were 3 talented top wrestlers on NXT that happened to be black. That's what I liked about it. It wasn't like, well, let's just throw this black guy and this black guy here and this black guy here for the sake of having a black guy's main event. That's not what's happening here. Oberfemi's was the champion. Trick Williams was the champion. Javon Evans is Javon fucking Evans, right? The young OG. That man bounces so damn crazy. He's so high. He's so talented. They're talented guys, and they just happen to be black. So, of course, when any situation like this, when this organic situation happens, you celebrate it. So, no, man, miss me with all that. You know what I'm saying? But once again, people going to be how they going to feel, how they want to feel. But that's just what the truth of the matter is, okay? So Javon off the bat goes for a springboard double cutter, but he bounced high. He boing, like I said it was. I was like, man, they got somebody to slot in that Ricochet slot, don't they? So he bounces off, but then he gets blocked by Oba and Trick, and Oba then takes them both down with a clothesline. Javon and Trick are in the ring, and then Evans goes for a sweep, and then Trick Williams does an impressive backflip to avoid the sweep. Trick Williams was shown like you can tell like, yo, this main event means a lot because I'm going to go out here and do things that people don't ever see me do. I'm going to show you how athletic I am. So Trick Williams hits a backflip, and even Javon looked at him like, whoa, I wasn't even expecting that player. I wasn't even expecting that. They both do impressive counters, and Oba comes in and gives a double Samoan drop. Like he has Trick on the shoulders and Javon, and gives a double Samoan drop to both of them. Then Oba takes out Javon with the shoulder breaker. Then Trick, he has Trick Williams up here, so with a gut buster. I ain't never seen Oba Femi pull out a gut buster in my life before neither, since I've been watching Oba Femi. Then Javon goes for a springboard clothesline to Oba, and Trick takes down Javon with like a sit down Death Valley driver type of way on for 2. Oba has Trick for a powerbomb, right? I like this spot. And this is why I say Trick was really pulling them all out here. And Javon was on top rope, but he was about to like clothesline, do like another type of doomsday device in a way. Just to reverse way the powerbomb for him. And as he go for the clothesline, Trick ducks the powerbomb, flips back and kind of Hurricane Rana's Oba Femi into a pin for 2. I thought for Trick Williams, that's impressive. That's impressive. Then Oba, does the chest smack the Trick, and it's like he just says like, "Oh my God, my heart stopped. It just fell down." Because I was like, "You're looking for one of the big slaps by Oba Femi, right?" Then there was a time, a little bit more into the matchup. There's a time where Oba was on his hands and knees. Trick was on one corner and Javon was in the other corner. Javon comes off the top rope. Trick runs up Oba's back, and they both kind of like crashed into each other. I was like, "Whoa, what the hell just happened there?" I don't know. They was trying to do the Logan Paul Ricochet Royal Rumble spot, but that's just not what it looked like. It just kind of looked crash and burn type. That's kind of what it just looked like. And then when they're on the outside, Trick tries to throw Javon Evans back into the ring, and Javon kind of like goes in and bounces off the bottom rope and hits a springboard moonsault. That bull is like nothing this dude cannot do, right? And he's pulling it all out also. And Oba back in the ring. Oba has Trick on his shoulders. Meanwhile, Javon is on top rope. But Trick picks up Javon in a suplex. And the strength that Oba Femi has to have Trick Williams like that, and the balance to have Javon in a superplex, and they do another tower do spot, that was freaking impressive. Trick gives Oba Femi a German, and Oba says like he just gives something like fighting spirit. He comes there and gives a double spine, gives a spine buster to him and wins to Evans. Later in the match, Oba is down. Javon Evans goes up. He goes for a frog splash. As he comes down for the frog splash, Oba Femi catches him around the throat. Like he about to do a choke slam. But as he does it, Javon reverses it into a cutter. And then he goes to Oba, and then it's only for a 2 count. Then he goes and takes Oba out again with another move, and then goes for his little springboard bounce finish. But then Trick breaks it up, and he breaks it up. And then he gets a spine buster on the apron by Obafemi. So then they were building up to a Can Javon slam Obafemi spot, right? So they Javon been trying to pick him up, and then it's like they're building to Andre and Hogan type thing. And for some reason, it's not Hogan and Andre. I don't know why these guys try to do that, but Javon slamming Obafemi worked better for me than Jey Uso trying to do this to Gunther. It just worked better for me than that. Honestly, I just have to say that. He does that, and then he hits a springboard cutter, but then Obafemi kicks out. And then Oba throws Javon into the barricade. Like, he literally throws him to the barricade and then pushes him through the barricade and breaks. And then as he comes up from the barricade damage, Trick grabs Obafemi and gives him the book in through the announce table. And I was like, man, the fans is all into this matchup. In the ring, Trick Williams hits the Trick shot, but there's no ref because he Trick pulled the ref out. So there's no ref right now. So then the ref starts waking up. Because I'm about to say, he hits the Trick shot to Javon Evans. The ref starts waking up. And then as he's about to go to slide to the ring, Oba grabs the ref to not go in there and count the fall. And then the ref kicks Oba. Like, that's how he's supposed to be like, oh, get off me, son. And goes for the cover, but then Javon Evans kicks out. No. Javon don't kick out. Oba rushes in and breaks up the count. Whew. He breaks up. So, I was on the edge of my seat like, yo, I know Oba going to win, but I want to know how he going to win. A little later in the match, then Javon bounces up, hits a double cutter to Trick and Obafemi. Then he goes for his little bouncing springboard, twisting splash move to Obafemi. He does that. As he gets up, Trick hits the Trick shot on Javon Evans. I was about to say, yo, they really about to get this back to Trick, right? And then, but Oba, after Trick, his Trick shot, Oba picks up Trick Williams for a pop-up powerbomb and slams it right on Javon Evans. Throws him out of the ring and then gives a sit-down powerbomb to Javon Evans for 1, 2, 3. Obafemi retains in a awesome triple threat main event. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Was it better than the Roman, Seth, and CM Punk triple threat match? No, it wasn't. I'm just saying, but it was a great triple threat match. And that's one of the highlights of the weekend. They went out there and did their job and made a awesome main event. They did that. And Javon Evans is a special talent. Trick Williams, he may be head up to the main roster. I don't know if because he done a lot in NXT so far. He may be head up to the main roster and maybe go back with Carmelo Hayes. Who knows? Carmelo, I know they look like they're trying to put a push on him because he won the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That means nothing. But I'm just saying it's a possibility. But overall, NXT gets an A for me. Thumbs up. It was a thumbs up show. I really, really enjoyed Stand and Deliver this year. And once again, I enjoyed it better than WrestleMania Night 1 minus the WrestleMania Night 1 main event. I just think it just had a better show to me. So we're going to see how Night 2 comes up with WrestleMania and see how that goes. But as of right now, this was my show of the weekend so far. So if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can post in the comments how you guys felt about it. Hit me, shoot that like button. But if you're on the audio version, listen to it on the podcast. We're about to move on because we got to talk about more things that happened on the WrestleMania weekend as well.